The man had been cut 108 times and stitched himself up 107 times without anesthesia, except for his face. But he was only a medical school student. He did not have a doctor's license and had never performed surgery. Still, he could simulate operations in his mind, cutting open wounds, stopping bleeding, removing necrotic tissue, and stitching up. One day, a boy was brought to the hospital with his left hand and right foot severed. The situation was critical, and there was no available surgeon. The man checked the boy's vital signs and examined the organs that were still functional. He quickly came up with a plan. Although he had no license, the man accepted the case. He asked the boy's family for $5 million as medical fees. Because there was no operating room, he went to borrow one from a friend's hospital. But when he opened the door, he found his friend had become addicted to drugs. Seeing the boy bleeding, the friend nearly fainted. The nurses began to doubt the man's abilities. The man stripped off his clothes on the spot, revealing scars all over his body, every stitch done by himself. He was, in fact, a successful case. Then he washed his arms, put on surgical clothes and a cap, and began the operation. The nurses handed him instruments and wiped his sweat, while his friend monitored the boy's vital signs. Time passed slowly. The man's hands were precise and efficient. It was hard to imagine this was his first real surgery. He removed all necrotic tissue and fixed the bones. But near the end, there was a problem. The hospital had no spare artificial blood vessels. Without urgent action, the boy could die from blood loss. He suddenly thought of the great saphenous vein, the least important vein in the human body, which could be used. The man injected adrenaline and sped up. Finally, the boy's vital signs stabilized. When the operating room lights went off, the good news reached the boy's parents. But the man had already disappeared. He had been scared and nervous during his first real operation. He calmed himself and waited for the large surgical fee. The next day, the boy's father did not pay on time. He knew the man had no license. If he reported him, the man would never be allowed to practice medicine. He offered $50,000 instead, trying to cheat him. Both knew the operation cost far more than that. The man refused the $50,000. He saw, for the first time, the darkness of human hearts that even doctors could not cure. From then on, the man became a strange doctor who charged high fees, traveling across the world.